Hey, God bless all of you. Welcome to Pastor Jerone TV. I'm your host, Pastor Jerone. So I've been talking about faith, and we said that Abel had the faith to worship. Enoch, that we'll talk about real quick today, had the faith to walk with God. And Noah had the faith to witness for God. And so here's what the Bible says in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because God had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased God. By faith Enoch walked with God. And I believe he had taken a page from his grandfather or great-grandfather, great-great-great-grandfather, because he was the seventh from Adam. And he knew about the walk with God in the garden in the cool of the day, and he wanted to take up that mantle. He wanted that legacy to be in his life. And at the age of 300 something, and at the age of 65, from the genealogy there in Genesis chapter 5, something happened. He had a son by the name of Methuselah. And the name Methuselah means it will come after his death. Methuselah was the longest living person ever recorded. He lived the longest. And he was an example of God's long suffering and patience with man. And Enoch knew that the flood was getting ready to come at the death of his son. So at 65, he had the son Methuselah, and for the rest of his life, Enoch walked with God. You know, something should happen to all of us. When we get saved, when we hear the word of the Lord preached, that's when we begin our walk, because something God said to us from a message that was preached, something that was taught, it hit us. It hit us in a profound way. And Enoch having this son by the name of Methuselah, it hit him in a profound way, and he walked with God for the rest of his life. He walked so closely with God that, according to tradition and the book of Enoch, that even the fallen angels came to him and consulted with him to ask God. They wanted Enoch to ask God to forgive them and give them a second chance into heaven. And of course, it was rejected. And Enoch recorded some great stuff about what was going on in his day. And this is why he had faith to walk with God, because it took faith because of what the fallen angels was doing in that time. People were very corrupt. People were beastly, and people had angelic blood in them. So it was a very wicked time. But Enoch walked with God, and he had more power than all of them, because he had power and influence with God. And then one day, because of the closeness of their relationship, God didn't want Enoch to die, and he didn't want him to live on earth that long. So he took him at this age, 365. Y'all know what that means right here, right? That's the time it takes in a year here on earth. There's 365 days in a year. So basically, because 1,000 years with the Lord is as one day, and one day is as 1,000 years. So basically, Enoch walked with God for one day. For one day. He lived on this earth for one day, and in the midst of that one day, God took him home. And God enjoyed his fellowship with Enoch, and Enoch enjoyed his fellowship with God. And God, of course, let him in on a lot of secrets and information. And I think in the book of Jude, verse 14, it says that Enoch had this testimony, and he was saying that the Lord is coming with 10,000s of his saints. Now, when the Bible says 10,000s, it was a number it says because they didn't know to say millions, but it's going to be millions and an innumerable amount of people that the Lord is returning from heaven with millions and millions and billions and trillions of people. So yes, so if there's something we need to do, brothers and sisters, we got to walk in this world by faith. Each day we get up, we got to walk with God by faith. And that walk pleases God. I'm sure that Enoch had a song that he sang with the Lord. It was probably something like, beautiful Savior, King of creation, Son of God and Son of man. Truly I love thee, truly I'll serve thee, light of my soul, my joy, my crown. He said, fair is the sunshine, and great is the moonlight, bright the sparkling stars on high. But Jesus is fairer, Jesus is purer than all the angels in the sky. Jesus is fairer, Jesus, you're purer than all the angels in the